Hi, let's continue learning phrasal verbs, or we can also say let's go on learning phrasal verbs. As you might know, we have a very interesting video, 250 phrasal verbs. Just imagine it. So please watch this video. I think it will be really useful for you, and you can also watch all the playlist about phrasal verbs. Okay, so let's talk about come from. So what does this phrasal verb mean, really? I'm sure that you've heard this kind of question many times. Where from? Where from? How do you usually answer this question? So if someone asks you where from, what will be your answer? And you can say, for instance, I'm from the United States. I'm from the United States, or I am from England. I am from England, I am from Canada, and so on. You name a country where you live or where you were born. So I'm from the United States, I am from England, I am from Canada, I am from Russia, and so on. Right, so please, in the comments, let's look at the comments and write about it in the comments, where from. However, sometimes we meet another question, and it's the following: where do you come from? Where do you come from? It has a similar meaning. Yeah, absolutely. So where from or where do you come from, it has a similar meaning, and your possible answer will be I come from the United States, I come from England, I come from Canada, or I come from Russia. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's absolutely right. So you see, so it's almost the same. It has a similar meaning, just two different questions. Well, so in other words, be from. Yeah, so where from. So be from has a similar meaning to come from. Has a similar meaning to come from. If we look at real English, we, from my experience, I can tell you that we meet this question more often. Anyway, sometimes we meet this question, where do you come from? And I think that next time you'll be ready for answering this question. So be from or come from. So the country where you live, or where you were born, where you live, where you were born, Right, so to sum up, be from has a similar meaning to come from, the country where you live, where you were born. Where from? I'm from the United States, I'm from England, Canada, Russia. Where do you come from? I come from the United States, I come from England, I come from Canada, I come from Russia. And please write about it in the comments, really. Where do you come from? Where do you come from? Yeah, it's the first meaning, the main meaning of this phrasal verb. However, this phrasal verb has the second meaning. It shows us that someone belongs to a particular social class or status. That someone belongs to a particular social class or status. For example, I can say she comes from a very rich family. She comes from a very rich family. She comes from a very rich family. Or on the contrary, it's a very good phrase. Please remember it. So it shows us something opposite, the opposite meaning. So on the contrary, I can say that she comes from. So you can see two opposite examples. The first one and the second example, we said on the contrary. Or on the contrary, she comes from a very poor family. So really, this phrasal verb shows us that she actually belongs to a lower social class, that actually she lives in a poor family. It is another way of saying, she lives in a poor family or she lives in a rich family. Just when you use phrasal verbs, you sound more natural. Yeah, as a rule, that's it. Right, so the second meaning, it shows us, sorry, yeah, for my misspellings, it shows us that someone belongs to a particular social class or status. She comes from a very rich family. She comes from a very rich family, or on the contrary, she comes from a very poor family. Okay, let's check everything and let's revise everything. So, come from, be from or come from, the country where you live, where you were born. Where are you from? I'm from the United States. I'm from England. I'm from Canada. I'm from Russia. Where do you come from? I come from the United States. I come from England. I come from Canada. I come from Russia. And the second meaning, it shows us that someone belongs to a particular social class or status. She comes from a very rich family, or on the contrary, she comes from a very poor family.